Hey guys. Hey guys. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Milo, I was talking to the people in the television set right here, not just you. Hey guys, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hi, corn popcorn. Holly Jolly, that boy Tay. That's a new name. How are you, that boy Tay? I never heard that name before here. Stella Flamingo, how you doing? Hello, hello. Honey Flower. Painted Dreams, one ear up, Honey Bun. How you doing? Thank you. I hope everybody's doing great too. Silnat, how you doing? Salem 2, Dubes 8, Jamie Duncan, Messy Little Polka Dot, Carissa JB, Tony Montag Movie. Tony Montag Movie. Milo, what are you doing? What's going on, buddy? Did you find something on the floor that I dropped or what? Guys, I'm sorry I'm a minute late. I was actually cooking up some hamburger that if I didn't make it, I'd have to throw it away. I want to take it to work with me tonight. My son has decided that he wants what's in the sink. So he is hovering over the sink at this moment. And all there is in the sink is the frying pan that I had the hamburger in and soapy water in that frying pan. So yeah, so I'm gonna make some rice later, and I'm gonna stick my Oh, thank you, Carissa J for JB for the gifted membership. Thank you so much. Bubbles got it. So congratulations to you, Bubbles. I'm learning. I remember when I didn't even know how to do any of this, and there's still so much stuff I don't know how to do. I don't know if I know that a lot of you are fans of Nina's, and I go and check out Nina's channel a lot, and I want you to know that Nina finally got some merchandise. I'm a little jealous. My merchandise will be coming, I'm sure, but Nina got her shit out there already, and it's really cute stuff. It's really cute stuff. So those of you that are fans of Nina that didn't know she had merchandise, it's out there now and it's really cute. So check it out. Guys, so a few things I wanted about somebody emailed me a PDF file that's bigger than the fucking book that we're reading right now. And this isn't all of it. I just want you to know this isn't all of the PDF file because I only had so much paper that I brought. And I got to bring more because I want to get the rest of them. And I really want to look at this stuff. It's really in depth. So I'm really hoping that that I could bring some new information. And this goes all the way from the beginning of Dee Dee's life to now because it's got some excerpts of the book that we're reading. So I'm very excited about that. Very excited about that. How you doing, Silnat? How you doing? Good? Good. All right, guys. All right, guys. Okay. I don't want to forget this tonight. It's the mouse that I was plugging in that I bring to work with me. I just didn't want to forget it. I did do a video last night at work, so I should probably do my microphone, but I didn't finish it because a lot more stuff happened. And so I'm hoping to finish it tonight. Thursday nights are the worst nights for me at work. By the way, guys, just so you know, I don't know if you need to know this, but the place that I go to sometimes, and I'm like, I used to work here, and it's in the same place that I work, but there's windows all around. I'll be going back there. It looks like in June, and I'm excited about that. I'm excited about going back to that position. It's the same hours as the one that I have now. That's the only reason why I left that position because I wanted the hours I have now. Now somebody is going to retire and I'm going to be getting that position until I retire. Thank you guys. Thank you. It's not a raise or anything, and I'm not going backwards, but I'm excited about going back because now I even have more information, and I could do even, I think, a better job. And yeah. So that's wonton soup broth that I'm drinking there. And if you're ready to go, we could start with number 10. I'm excited about going back. So thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you for all of that. Thank you so much, guys. And thank you for meeting me today, 130 people. Huh. Thank you for that. Don't forget, next Monday, we're going to do the interrogation of Gyps Ahoy. I'm excited about that too. So let's see. Let's see. It's not really a new position. It's an old position, just the time slot I wanted. But that's okay. I love it. 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 Alice down the rabbit hole. How you doing? How you doing? How is everybody? Hey, hey. Did I see Rebecca Mitello in the chat? How you doing, Rebecca? I do see Rebecca Mitello in the chat. How you doing, Rebecca Mitello? How you doing? All right, guys, you ready for me to go? Alice in Wonderland is my favorite movie. Okay. Yep, definitely. We're going to be promoting the hell out of that book. We're going to be promoting the hell out of that book. And I'm going to buy a couple of copies and we'll give some away. And we'll have Rebecca sign them if she will. So, all right. All right, you guys ready to go? All right, because I got people here on lunch break and stuff like that. What is the book? The book that we're reading or the book that Rebecca Mitello is writing? Rebecca Mitello is writing a book about her grandson and how the system failed her and how her grandson was unalived by his dad and how the system kept failing every time they'd call for help, but they kept giving Corey back to his dad. And his dad, in case you guys don't know, remember the treadmill? The little boy on the treadmill? That was Rebecca Mitello's grandson, just so you know. All right. And you can go to that Facebook page, Justice for Corey. And you can go to my playlist for Corey Mitello and find out more about the story if you want. Because it's about the system that let them down over and over and over and over again. All right, let's go, let's go, let's go. We're on 10 of this wonderful masterpiece, number one bestseller on Amazon because the audiobook's 99 cents. It's My Time to Stand by Gyps A-hoy and two other people. Okay, so this is Meeting Nick. There's no French for this. It's just Meeting Nick, chapter 10. I met Nick on Christian datingforfree.com. It's all stuck together, those words. So I met Nick on Christian datingforfree.com on October 12th, 2012. Creating my profile allowed me the freedom to create something real and let go of my false persona. I dressed the way I thought I would look if I had grown up normal. The picture I posted was me wearing a brown wig, because my hair would have been brown if my mom wouldn't have shaved it off. I wore a prom dress that my mom bought on clearance from JCPenney's after prom season ended. Lying across my couch, I posed with a rose. I felt beautiful in my body. I liked having breasts and hips. Maybe I was on my way to finding myself, exploring myself. She didn't mention anything about the scar, did she? Nothing about the scars. But that came to a screeching halt when I got matched with a boy named Nick who winked at me. Huh? Why did it come to a screeching halt? Maybe I was on the way to finding myself, exploring myself. But that came to a screeching halt when I matched with a boy. Okay, I get it now. So there was no exploring yourself, even though you matched with a boy who lived so far away. Come on, be real. Anyway, Nick winked at her. He must like my profile description, which said basically, I'm a very happy, bubbly girl interested in sci fi and fantasy. I am a virgin and I'm waiting to commit myself to my husband. But that wasn't true. Why? Some fucking liar. Innocently, I added my love for animals and being outside, even though my time in nature was contained to brief visits to my backyard, marveling at butterflies and slugs. She just lied all the way through this. When I was surfing the internet, I was a butterfly. Nick said he wanted his butterfly to be his girlfriend, and it was the first time I experienced the feeling of pride. Someone wanted me for. Wait a minute. Could it be me? Me! Someone wanted me for me. What did Dan want you for? You didn't figure that out yet. So, this is wrong. Hi, 1980 millennial. How you doing? How is everybody doing? All right. I wanted love and attention that had nothing to do with pity. So I made the videos he requested and directed. The more he praised me for a good job, do you believe it? You guys don't even have this book in front of you. Ah, I just can't see Nick doing it. Okay, you ready? She was sucking. Okay, so he praised me for a good job after sucking on a. Oh, not a real one, a fake one. He ordered from Japan. I just can't see that. The more I believed he loved me. Of course, when I would do the videos wrong, forgetting to call him master and not being dirty enough girl, he'd threaten to pull the love away. Oh, I'd love to see these videos. Where are these videos? I would love to see these videos because I call bullshit. I was familiar with the carrot and stick game. My mom loved me when I was sick and took her love back when I wasn't. In order to be accepted and loved, I needed to meet the expectations of others. Have you guys ever heard of this part of the story? Yeah, how did he order it when he had no money? Yep. I mean, she paid for everything, right? Yep. Okay, but give me one of these. I don't believe the story either. I'd love to see. I want to see the text messages, which I think I have every text message in this big thing that I've shown you. Be patient with me on that, please. And I think we've seen so much. And Alice down the rabbit hole says, how come her mom didn't notice that she got something in the mail from Japan? I mean, her mom was up her ass, according to her, or she was tethered to her mom, right? You guys love my new hoodie? I love my new hoodie. It's so soft and cozy. Okay. All right, let's go. Nick exposed me to a lot of sexually perverse things and ideas. But 10 years later, knowing now what I know about sex, he taught me all wrong. Nick, for that alone, go against her. Nick, go to John. For that statement alone, you got to just go after her because she pushed Nick into the bathroom and had sex with him for the first time, he thought. So, no. From what I've read, he didn't have an accurate idea of BDSM, bondage, discipline, submission, and masochism. No, he didn't, because you turned him on to it, Gypsy, not the other way around. You know, she should go back to jail for just lying and slander or libel. This is libel. And he made it up as he went along because, again, he didn't know, Gypsy. Supposedly your Dan knew. The BDSM stuff made me cringe. In the meantime, all we have is video of her behaving poorly. And after a while, it demoralized me. No, you did that all on your own. I felt uncomfortable in the role of his submissive and winced when he verbally degraded me. He adored you. He fucking adored you. He worshiped you, you dumbass. How fucking horrible is she to say all this? How horrible is she to say all this? Danny's got her nose in the corner over this shit. Danny, that was mommy's. But Nick would balance that out with an intricate fantasy world containing realms of good versus evil, which reminded me of the sci-fi conventions and the stories and movies I enjoyed and needed to believe in, because this was all Dan shit. This was all Dan shit that you were trying to put on Nick. I was vulnerable to Nick. Oh my God, what a liar. The only adult in my life who knew that I could walk, that I didn't have. I thought she said that she told Dan. Didn't she say in the last friggin' chapter for real that she told Dan? Seriously, guys. I mean, I remember what I read now. It didn't always, but I remember what Tori, right? Holly, right? She did. She did. She did. And now she's saying something different. I was vulnerable to Nick, the only adult in my life who knew that I could walk, that I didn't have labored breathing at bedtime, that I wasn't mentally disabled, that the scars on both sides of my neck were from an unnecessary surgery, that I'd be under the knife again soon enough. She's so full of shit. I took off one mask of Gypsy Rose, replacing it with another mask of Gypsy Rose. Telling the truth felt like releasing a butterfly from a net, only for it to fly right into the mud. Well, Gypsy's the type of person that would catch the butterfly in the net and then squeeze the life out of it. What do you think, Danny? Don't you agree? Milo's sleeping through the read. We both lived in a fantasy world where the innocence of imagination dies and resurrects into a world ruled by improbable and the impossible. Nick lived in the realm of the improbable. In our elaborate conversations, he'd command his many minions and gargoyles to swoop me out of my princess room and into a dimension in which I was in which I was queen, his queen. Nick's storytelling captivated me, precise and colorful, detailed and well crafted. If he hadn't included the perversion and the savage and depraved violence, he could have turned his stories into novels and sold millions of copies. I could feel the grooves of the stone walls of his castle and the smoothness of the horns of the Raptors circling the labyrinth. Proper names for his creations rolled off his tongue, suspending my belief in glorious ways. This is all bullshit. Night after night, I drank from his chalice of escape. Nick's realm held mystical beasts, evil spells, and poison potions, the upside down version of my reality. Didn't she just get done saying that her mom had evil spells and shit like that? I'm just asking. Guys, seriously, I'm serious. Nick was a better writer than Melissa Moore. Kudos to you, Carissa. Right? This is horrible. The cow tongue. Right. Right, guys? It was just a chapter ago. Like Earth's continents, Nick's fantasy world contained several lands separated by serpent-filled seas. Nick's evil twin brother lived in one realm, and he vowed to build a portal to the human world where he would MURDER those in Nick's wake, in particular me. Oh my God, this is so fucking. She's a horrible, horrible, horrible person. Like, she is a fucking piece of shit person. Pardon my language, but how dare she commit what she did, have him in prison for life, and turn around and say this shit about him? I wonder if I could send this to him and highlight the shit she said about him. Well, I'm speaking to a few of those inmates I told you about, the former inmates that know inmates. And, well, I'll send them this part of the video and ask them what they think. Thank goodness for his medallion, his prized possession, which magically transported Nick out of this brother's realm and into a secret realm of safety, which was also Nick's kingdom. Here he was, king, and lived amongst 12 alien soulmates of different species. What the fuck is this? I feel like I'm reading something from Scientology. I was the only human soulmate, his queen, but not without a duty. And if I didn't fulfill it, I'd be cast out forever, losing the one king who would ever love me. You know, this is ridiculous. That guy worshipped her. He worshipped her. And he still friggin' worships her. He still is into her. He still is devoted to her. She is so full of shit. And the fact that some people are gonna believe this bullshit. Mm-mm-mm. And the fact that she just wrote it, it's libel. There is no statute of limitation right now. Nick. Excuse me. This kingdom is where, guess who lived? Victor. Victor, the 3,000-year-old vampire. It was also home to the Dark One. These villains did not drink blood. They thirsted, however, for RAPE and MURDER of women. This is all Gypsy's shit. This is how sick Gypsy is. This is all Gypsy's shit. And she's not going to be able to contain herself. This shit's going to be happening in real. She's sick. She is so sick. She's worse than we thought, guys. She is really, 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 really bad. Like, really bad. Oh my God. She is really, really, really bad. So she's saying that Nick had a thirst for necrophilia, and we know that he didn't because he said that right away to his detective in the interrogation room. Remember? Okay, so this is just okay, guys. I'm not going to read this paragraph because it's disgusting. She's talking about Nick's fantasies of doing horrible things to women. Do you guys, I'm going to ask you, stop. Do you guys think that Nick is capable of doing horrible things like that? No, those are her fantasies. No, 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 not alone. Nope. Somebody said, yep. Nope. Victor. Victor was a guy that was made up for her to be with Ruby. Those are fantasies, but they're not his fantasies. He wasn't dark like that. Okay. All right. So that's what I think too. No, absolutely not. In Nick's realm, king and queen did not sit side by side, but as dominant and submissive, the queen being ruled over in all aspects. Well, you seem to tell him what to do, dummy. Like, we know that he did everything she told him to do, so how true is this? And it wasn't just sex. I'd only speak when told I could speak. I'd be chastised for laughing at something funny because I hadn't yet been permitted. Yeah, this is all bullshit. I could not make advances or ask questions without a code word. I role played with 4 different personas. Demona, who was a half werewolf, half human girl. Kitty, who was childlike. Candy embraced more of my slutty side. And Ruby was the evil one. Our laptop cameras became a portal between his realm and mine, transporting us both into our respective roles. Me dressing in costume, taking orders, speaking in the language of the realm, and addressing Nick as master. What happened to the other one? What was it? King Charming. He would protect me from anyone, yes, even his evil twin brother. but only if I was a good girl and did what I was told. You have to understand, I thought my having a boyfriend would bring me one step closer to being a real teenager, like my neighbor, Aaliyah, and her friends. I thought that having a Facebook profile and liking and sharing things was going to ultimately initiate me into a culture club filled with peers and people watching an actual community, of which I was an active participant. If I couldn't physically reach out and touch that world, I'd bring the world closer to touch me. You were touching yourself all the time, Gypsy. You really didn't need anybody to touch you. And I believe something disgusting happened to Dee Dee, because you got to remember during the interrogation, Gypsy's very perverted. Perverted is too nice of a word for her. She is sick. She's sick sexually. I don't know how much I can read of this. Let's try. When Nick ordered me to touch myself, I thought it was his way of teleporting his touch to me. My hand a mere lever he was controlling with a joystick from his dark kingdom in a faraway land called Wisconsin. Before I met Nick, my profile picture was of me in a yellow ruffled sundress, a floppy hat holding a teddy bear, where my mom defeminized me by putting a razor on my vagina. That's nice. Nick told me I'd be a woman uh, if he carved me up. This is a new one. You ready for this, guys? Gypsy says, where my mom humiliated my femininity by binding my breasts. Nick ordered me to humiliate myself by slathering them with barbecue sauce or peanut butter. This is all new. This is a fucking imagination. Just my imagination. Run away with me. I was a mechanical doll, taking instructions and acting them out without pleasure or pain. Ah, bullshit. You had a great time writing this. I believe Gypsy wrote this part. I just was, because I believed I was learning what love is. It is someone caring enough about you to dominate you. It is caring enough about someone to fulfill all of his commands. What was one of the first things she said when she got out of jail that first night the next day? The D was on fire! Everything with Gypsy has to do with X. Everything with Gypsy has to do with that. She is, ooh, yep. Remember how she told us about Ken's skills? His oral skills, like we needed to know about that. I'm telling you, Nick, nothing about this. Yeah, it's definitely not recommended for children. The video is not recommended for children 18. I mean, this video is not recommended for children. I don't care if it's her chromosome deletion. It's not Nick's. And she's blaming Nick, right? So that's my problem. All right. That's a weird phone call. Haven't heard from him in forever. Guilty of crime. How you doing? Maybe you should go visit him. I'm not gonna. I live in New York. Guilty of crime. What are you talking about, Jay? I couldn't make it down to New York. You want me to go to Wisconsin? I can't. Not Wisconsin, Missouri. He's in Missouri. He's in Chillicothe. No. But I write to him, and he writes me back sometimes. Okay, guilty of crime. Ask him. Ask him if you could go. Ask him if you could go. You could write to him. You could write to him today. Securus. But I've written to him. Satisfy women, don't brag. No need to. Catherine B, you're right. I want to travel. That's awesome. Can you send me his address? Well, I mean, he's in Chillicothe Prison in Wisconsin. I don't know the physical address. Thank you so much. No, thanks you. Thank you so much. Do you believe it's AI? I believe that part of that interview that we watched yesterday, I think some of that was AI. Yes, I do. I'm sorry, I do. All right, guys, let's continue onward. Let's continue onward. The validation I'd received from Nick kept me compliant and submissive. In order to be accepted, I needed to keep him happy. I had no other suitors, no other reference point. You had Dan. What happened to Dan? I was alone and I wanted my aloneness to be cured, to treat it because it was the one true disease I actually had. Oh, so you knew. Oh, well, she knew. Remember, she said she didn't know. She only knew after she got arrested that she didn't have any of the sickness. Thanks, man. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'd love to collaborate with you. And you can write to him through Securus. Just get him through Securus. Seriously, that's all you got to do is get him through Securus. It's easy. Securis. And he's in Chillicothe. No, he's in well, yeah, he's in Missouri. He's in Missouri correctional facility. I think that hang on. Guilty of crime. Jay, in my community page in my community page, I think that there's the exact way to get in touch with him. Or I think Holly Jolly just put something up on my Facebook page, Issues with Toddy One Skip or Toddy One Skip. I think it's just Toddy One Skip. Guilty of crime. Go there because it should have his detention number and directly how to get in touch with him. I'm pretty sure that Holly Jolly put that up on the Facebook page. So check that out. I'm sure there's a link somewhere in the community page, but you might find it quicker on the Facebook page. And thank you for the shout out and the money. Okay, great. Great. Okay, great. Okay, guys, stop telling Holly Jolly she's so good. You don't understand what I got to go through after these. She tells me how good she is all the time. I don't know much about that AI video that I got, except somebody sent it to me, and that's all it was exactly what I showed you. I'm not going to send you the person's name that sent it to me. It just said NPG on the subject. And it said Toddy One Skip, this is AI. Toddy One Skip, this is AI. So that's it. Yeah, this is horrible, this book, isn't it? Okay, let's go onward though. Okay. But just remember, everything she said was none of our business sexually, and she kept talking about it sexually, right? Right? Okay. The validation I'd receive from okay. Here's a guy. Okay. Here's a guy who is into this odd stuff. Okay, but how bad can it be? Maybe guys his age explore actually in this way. How would you know or not know, dumbass? I mean, you didn't know anything, supposedly. This is what I mean. Like, how would I know or not know? That's exactly what she wrote. That's what I'm asking you. So why are you saying it? I just wanted to be accepted, and I thought I'd do anything he wanted me to stay in his life, even if that life was in a world of his own making. I had already lived in a world of someone else's making. At least in his, I was a woman. Well, what were you in Dan's world? Gyps A-hoy! What were you in Dan's world? Okay. So we've heard Nick speak. We know what kind of guy Nick is, right? So yeah. So supposedly he says to Gypsy, "I'm so proud of you," he said, after I sent him my initiation video, which formally defined our roles in the BDSM relationship. At the end of the video, I had to say, "Please consider me as your submissive." Sure, that sounds like the Nick that we know. As elaborate as the details of his fantasy realms, Nick would send me scripts to act out. Oh, God, please. Direct my dialogue and costuming and demand unusual, actual. Wait a minute, it gets funny. Yep, laughing my ass off. BS, bullshit. Oh, possum looking one, laughing my ass off. Everybody's laughing on this one. Okay. And demand unusual sexual behaviors with phallic objects while contorting my body so my female parts were exposed like parts under the hood of a rusty car. Like, I can't even visualize that. Like, there's got to be a better description than, a rusty car. Like, why a rusty car? Like, isn't that something? Tell me that's nothing. This is like a terrible book. It is such a bad book. Guys, there's 300 of you and 130 of you like me. Can you guys please? I'm doing the best. I'm reading this shit. This is horrible. This is horrible, guys. So, thumbs up to me. Thumbs up, please. All right. Oh, God. Okay. The acting felt natural. During the day, I was a hairless, prepubescent, paraplegic child, squeaky voiced, running through scripts that prompted doctors to poke and prod me. At night, I was running through scripts, begging for the mercy of my master as I poked and prodded myself. Day or night, mom or master, my identity was created in the image of a two-headed monster, a monster whose fetish was to feast on my dignity. Yeah. Who's the monster that planned the unaliving? The graphic unaliving. Which one was that, Dee Dee, or was that Nick? Nick pulled BDSM through like a thread in his fantasy world stories. There was no separation between the realms in our dominant and submissive acts. Whatever we would be doing or saying as dominant and submissive was all in service of his kingdom or the realm, where the Dark One, where Victor, and where Nick's evil twin were all out to get me, to pillage me and make me scream in horror and degrade my womanhood with each painful thrust of their daggers. This is something I believe Gypsy would write. He wanted me to he wanted me to I can't pronounce I can denigrate myself. Sorry. I just don't see that. I just don't see Nick doing that. But it gets better. Come on, guys. I'm reading porn here now just for you. And there's 167 of you. And I got 300 here. I have 300 because you guys are dirty. You guys are dirty. You want an old lady to read you porn. How fucking. Oh, God, my mom's watching this. Oh, shit. I forgot completely. Oh, shit. I forgot my mom was gonna be watching the Mom, I didn't write this one. Hi, Mom. I didn't write this one. Look at these sad people. They're oh, God. All right. All right. Okay. So he must have done a lot of, ordering from Japan because he ordered for her a 9-inch fake one. And supposedly she used it and showed him on camera. I don't believe this. We've never seen any of these videos. Mom, everybody's saying hey to you. My mom's not gonna be able to read the chat like that. My mom, no offense, Mom, but my mom shakes a little bit, so unless we can shake this around. All right, guys, seriously. I'm just joking, Mom. All right. Okay, so I remember him ordering me to stalk the mailman because something was coming for me. I did intercept the unmarked package and thought of shoving the object up me, made me queasy. Bad girl that I was, I told my master no when he told me to put it. I can't do this, can't read this. Yeah, so she said, "I'm not gonna do that, you know, because he very dirty things that I don't believe Nick, and I can't read it because my mom. Um, and then supposedly he called her horrible names that I've never heard Nick call her. Um, and yeah, she says that she did these acts, and I'm sure that she did them for him, and I guarantee you it had absolutely nothing to do with him wanting or asking for it. It had all to do with her wanting to do it. First of all, who's going to send shit to somebody that is petrified of their mom and under control of their mother? Who's going to keep getting dildos in the mail? I mean, seriously, I'm just asking. Right. Okay. She overlooked all of this to build something that wasn't there, a life with Nick. He wanted a life with you. It was you. It was you, Gypsy. We're not buying this. If I were free, that would be it, like to live together. I'd ask him unaware that he was engaged in video relationships with at least 3 other women. It wasn't just about having Nick control my life. I wanted to imagine our romance coming to life in my realm, the real world. What would it be like to be king and queen? I waited for Nick's answers with bated breath, but his answers were all about being his ex slave and fighting the forces of the Dark One. I'm still looking for King Charming here. I agreed to the terms of Nick's dominance over me. In his mind, this meant we were married. I own you now would become his refrain. Come on, guys, seriously. He said that one day soon he'd take my virginity from me because that's what dominants do. I invested a lot of time and energy in capturing his acceptance and what I thought was love while he captured my mind. He would say things like, I'm so proud of you if I rubbed the right amount of barbecue sauce or ketchup on my naked body. Can you see him do that? No. You have so much potential, Gypsy. Come on, this is such bullshit. If I was good at humiliating myself for his pleasure, he'd tell me he loved me and believed in me. Other times, he'd say I needed bigger boobs or I wasn't dirty or nasty enough. This is so full. This is so. So she said Nick introduced her to violence, murders, blood, carvings, horrible rape fantasies. This wasn't Nick. And I was so afraid of losing his validation. I ignored his ex-girlfriend's Facebook message warning that he was controlling and not all there. Yeah, so controlling and not all there. He wasn't all there. He had autism, and to some people, that would be a way that he would be described. And controlling, well, that's what Gyp Shit said about Ryan, and all Ryan wanted was his wife. He felt something was wrong and Ryan was right. So, what about royal mashed potatoes? Still not you're not a weirdo, you're good. I know, she told Nick that she was a virgin, that was a lie, yep. Think about that, Rod and Christy. Hey, Rod, you should be reading this book. This is your little girl. Why would you even put this shit out there? I'm just asking. Like, why even put this shit out there? Why? What's the purpose of putting this out there? So we're going back to, the thing that the ex-girlfriend was warning Gypsy. What girl wants to see her ex happy? Nick rationalized when I told him his ex messaged me. It wasn't until he told me that upon our daughter's 13th birthday that he would take her virginity that I thought he crossed the creepy line. I broke up with him, but like a good submissive, I accepted apologies and returned to our status quo the same way I accepted my mother's non-apologies. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I The end game was to live a life together and to finally be together, and the ideas of how I wanted to be treated and how he wanted to treat me were different. We'd argue a lot about this. Why can't we have a normal life? I'd say. I can't fucking. Nick was begging for it. Why can't we have a normal life? Please, you're fucking crazy. Stop wearing all the wigs. I don't even know the color of your hair. Can you walk? Can't you walk? What's wrong with you? Are you sick? Are you not sick? What's that whole, a feeding tube? Oh my God. Come on, man. The end game was to live a life together and finally be together, and the ideas of how I want to be treated and how he wanted to treat me were different. We'd argue a lot about this. I already read this part. Why can't we have a normal life? That's where I stopped and laughed and said, ha, ha, ha. No, no, no. I'd say my begging indirectly feeding into his dominance like the people on Malcolm in the Middle. Why can't we have that family? Oh my God. I don't know anything about I don't have commercials anymore on YouTube. I have the premium because we would watch videos. Remember the first time I watched the live video and I didn't have premium and it stopped. So I don't want to do that again. Okay. He didn't want an American sitcom kind of life. I'm not that kind of person, he responded, firm on the fact he wouldn't change, that people don't change. You must not really love me if you want to change me. He said, oh yeah, we're going to live together and probably have some kids. He wanted that kind of life. She is so fucking gone in the head. Can you hear me? We would go back and forth on the matter of shifting. The worst bit is I'm reading you shit that didn't even happen. You know that, right? Oh, thank you, Cougarish. Thank you so much. Like, actually, I'm reading stuff that honestly didn't happen. And we would go back and forth on the matter of shifting our relationship from dominant and submissive to an American sitcom kind of life. We'd threaten breaking up with each other, which triggered an anxiety of being abandoned, which is something I still grapple with today. You think? Our fights would shine a light on my feelings of unworthiness, which only made me sabotage the name, and he'd continue his threats to leave me, and the cycle would continue. Finally, I'd beg him not to leave me and cave in to do whatever he wanted me to do. So, guys, I want you to remember that she keeps saying he would leave her, he would leave her, he would leave her. They hadn't met face to face yet. Stop for a second and think. They hadn't met face to face yet. What was he leaving? What was she leaving? What? Yeah, really. That's what I'm saying. Holly, that's what I'm saying. Who else is going to need a shower when I'm done? No, they haven't met yet. They have not met yet. The first time they meet, she pushes him into the men's room at the movie theater and has sex with him. Remember that? I got to get something to drink that's cold. This is hot. This is wonton soup broth. That's why I pee all the time, because I'm always drinking something cold and something hot. You know, my mom's watching this saying, damn, you share too much. I don't wear a diaper. Holly Cook. I know you weren't talking about me. You're talking about Gyps A-hoy. Wonton soup broth. Hang on, guys. Let me get something cold to drink, Danny. Danny, Banani. I love you more than anybody else. Right, Milo? Right, Milo? Milo, 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 Milo. All right, guys, let's see what we got. No, Dee Dee's sisters did not approve this book. You know that. You know that. I also have something, excuse me, in all of this stuff that was sent to me. It's got some writings from Dee Dee's sisters. Sorry, guys. This is like leaking all over. This is frozen water. Then when I opened it up, it leaked on me. Oh, and I don't have any more. Whatchamacallits. Hang on, I gotta find a coaster. Oh, there's one. Okay. All right. Ooh. Okie dokie. Med records prove that at 16 she was a bedwetter and a pooper. I believe it. I believe she's lazy. She's lazy. I don't think Melissa Moore believes this shit. You want my New York hoodie? Yeah. It's a little big for me, I'm happy to say, but that's okay. I wrote to Nick recently and told him how angry myself and others were, and speaking about his mother. And did he write you back, Sizzle 74? He does write back. My thing is, guys, this is what I think. You know, this is what I think. Nick gets what's sent to him, and it goes directly to him because it has to. Okay. So the mail goes directly to him, the emails and stuff. But I feel like before he writes back, somebody tells him what to say. And I don't trust that person. So, but we're going to find out who's running what. Okay? All right. Danny is laying on the floor. She always lays like right next to the dishwasher, which I've never used because I actually like doing dishes. And I wonder if she's laying there because she could see her face in the reflection of the dishwasher. There's not a bed there. I mean, like, I don't want to get another bed. She was hanging out over there. I got a bed. Every time she hangs out somewhere, I get a bed, but I don't really want a bed in my kitchen, even though there's 3 beds in my kitchen. Their beds, not me. I hope Ken left her too, and I hope he considers checking out the kid. You know what I'm saying? I hope he considers fighting for custody because she needs supervision with that child. She needs Hey, Chris, she needs supervision with that child. All right, you ready? Chapter 11. I'm hoping we got through like that friggin' horrible chapter 10. That hurt. All right, let's see. Chapter 11. The movie theater. Oh my gosh, this is the sex in the movie theater. Nick and I wanted to be together, and we both wanted me out of my mom's grip. He could protect me by taking me away, by moving me to Wisconsin with him, and by sharing a life with me. So we talked about the options we could exercise to make that happen as we tried to manipulate the mangled parts of my life into a more pleasant shape. Yeah, again, poorly written. We didn't have a master plan. It wasn't anything like that, like planning a jewelry heist with several plots of run throughs. I had been a hopeless, sheltered girl who had found hope in Nick and then lost that hope all over again when my mom's physical abuse reinforced the electric fence that she had activated after the Dan debacle. It wasn't one discussion like, you know, so is it really an electronic fence? Because this is the first time I'm hearing about that. She's the victim in everything. Do you think Ryan's mom and Ken's mom have their sons at the clinic yet for some testing? I would definitely, man. Definitely, definitely. Wow. So no real fans of Gypsy here. No, um, okay, I don't know that they have his best interest at heart. Shalicious? I don't know who's running it, and I don't know that they have his best interest at heart. Again, we saw that video, and for what? What was the purpose of it? All right, so let's get back into this. I don't want to argue if I'd love to work with NPG Cornerstone. There's 15,000 more people that would sign something. And I would turn other creators on to. Let's work together. Let's do this for him. MPG Cornerstone isn't doing anything but putting out old videos. And I'm not sure that some of them aren't AI. So what are they doing? All right. It wasn't one. Okay, so she had activated after the Dan debacle. It wasn't one discussion like, okay, how do we get rid of your mom? They were gradual conversations that were baked into an elaborate fantasy world Nick created. Oh my God, is she really trying to say that Nick wanted her mom gone? He shared with me that he got actually aroused when he fantasized about murdering and then violating his ex-girlfriend. I don't believe this. But our plot was more reminiscent of a soap opera. I don't believe this is absolutely. I got it, I said to Nick, brainstorming an idea for one option. You come to visit me in the middle of the night, and when my mom is asleep, I'll wheel down the wheelchair ramp, and you and I will sneak to the backyard. We'll have X, and you'll get me pregnant, and then mama will have to let me be with you. As the dad, she'll have to accept you. I shoplifted prenatal pills and a pregnancy test and posted it on my secret Facebook page where I was friends with Nick's mom. She called Nick. What is Gypsy doing? Okay, that's not a good plan. It's the funniest thing in the book. Nick said his mom was not pleased and warned him not to get me pregnant. It is eerie how this story is almost exactly the same as when Grandma Sharon warned my dad against Mama trying to get pregnant because of a library book. I'm not sure why I thought Mama would be on board with a pregnancy when she accused me of having sex with Dan, even though I said up and down, nothing happened. She said she'd make me have an unaliving of the baby if I was pregnant. Nick was right. Pregnancy wouldn't work. Nick was right. That's the first time I ever heard her say Nick was right. And she's a liar. So does it count? I really had to dig in to try to understand what my mom's big issue about me dating was. Her control and abuse had moved outside the realm of my health and was more preoccupied with my social interactions, especially romantic ones, which my maturing body and mind naturally craved. Well, at least your body, your mind. Was she afraid of being abandoned by me? That I'd meet a man, make a family, and forget all about her? Was that what she was jealous? Oh, sorry. Was it was it that she would be jealous or feel left out of my life in some way? Was it that she would be jealous or feel left out? There's some sort of psycho babble bullshit here that reads, was it that she would okay, was it that she would be jealous or feel left out of my life in some way? Okay, my thought process was so desperate. I thought if I could figure out a way to placate her emotional needs, there would be a way for me to create a win-win situation, one in which I was happy with Nick and my mom could feel an active participant in my life. She didn't have the brain capacity to do that, Gypsy, because you don't think beyond yourself. Oh, here we go. Like, pretend we are strangers who bump into each other, like love at first sight, he asked. Oh, so that was Nick's idea. I thought it was Gypsy's idea to do that. I really did. Oh, here we go. Wait, because I missed the sentence. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Sorry. I continued brainstorming with Nick, coming up with what I thought was the best idea yet. What if we accidentally meet? What if we accidentally meet up and pretend? Sorry, guys. Had to make you laugh. Had to make you laugh. Guys, there's 100 of you watching this for absolutely nothing. Give me a thumbs up. Those of you that haven't given me a thumbs up, come on. I'm embarrassing myself here reading this horrible book and talking like Gypsy Rose. All right. I continued brainstorming with Nick, coming up with what I thought was the best idea yet. What if we accidentally meet up and pretend we just met and Mama would see that we really like each other and let us date? All on the first date, your mama would do that? Can you also get a green card that quick? Like pretend we are strangers who bump into each other. Well, that's Nick's voice. Like pretend we are strangers who bump into each other, like love at first sight, he asked. Exactly. Mama and I go to the movies a lot. So maybe you could come down when we see the new Cinderella movie and then you are just there in the lobby and we accidentally meet, like bump into each other. This meet cute idea made sense to me at the time. Mama wanted to be a part of my life and wouldn't let go. So what if I baked her into the origin story? Baked her into the origin story. I need to be baked right now reading this book. The first time Nick and I met, Mama was there. I would say at our wedding, with Mama by my side, happily taking credit for my happiness. She's terrible. Yep. Yeah, Dee Dee was horrible, right? But took Gypsy to movies and everything. Yep, 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 yep. Okay. You know that there's no pages in this book, so if I drop this, I'd be fucked. I was delusional to think Mama would find peace in knowing she was a part of us and not feel alienated or threatened in any way, but I figured our love story would be her story as much as it was mine. She could own it. We shared everything after all, so this had to be the answer. I had to share my experience with Nick with her to appeal to her ego. She wouldn't feel excluded or worse, replaced. At least that's what I thought she needed in order to let me date him. I was trying to get her approval in my life in any way, just so Nick could somehow be integrated. What was it about Nick? Again, they hadn't met yet. It was when she felt excluded or she felt I was leaving her that she'd unleash her wrath. Nick made an addition to our meet cute plan. I will take your virginity at the movie theater, he said with lust in his voice. And you will be mine forever. I will own you. Thank you for giving me money. Thank you. Pounds. I got pounds. Thank you, Estiana. Seriously. That's very sweet of you. Just so you know, I mean, I'm really not paying attention to the chat, but the money things come up with these bright colors and it's hard to miss them. So it's not that I'm only paying attention to them, but they come up in. Who's stuck in traffic now? Somebody is. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Oh, you love the community. Okay. What about me? Okay. I think she wanted house stand, then blame Nick. Nice wrap up with a present and a bow. Yep. That's what I'm saying. Yes. Gypsy lost it to Dan, but she's liar, liar, pants on fire. Liar, liar, pants on fire, right? All right, so let's do it. You remember he said he didn't even have a choice about taking her virginity, so he thought because she like pushed him in the movie theater, like she came on to him real hard. Remember that? Thank you, Little Miss Know It All. Little Miss, Little Miss, Little Miss Know It All. I love Scotland. I know it's horrible. She probably did assault a kid in a sandbox. She shoved him into the restroom. That's right, Shorty Pie 30. Okay, let's go onward. Okay. So, and you will be mine forever. I will own you. Supposedly, that's what Nick said. At this point, I wanted to give him my virginity, mostly because I wanted that part over with. I thought this was my one and only chance, especially as I was finally getting to be with Nick in real life. This is something we have to do now, I thought. We promised we would figure out a way for us to meet in the bathroom during the movie. So on March 12th, 2015, I dressed up in a Cinderella costume dress and tiara. Picture it, guys. You got the picture in your head, right? She looks like a 7-year-old, right? Missing teeth and everything, right? That blonde big wig that looks like a wig, the blue frilly dress, the fucking crown, tiara, glasses, and a wheelchair. Just picture that. So on March 12th, 2015, I dressed up in a Cinderella costume dress and tiara to accompany Mama to the live action film version of Cinderella. Cinderella, 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 Cinderella. We were regulars at the movie theater in Springfield, and we were greeted by the staff with the usual enthusiasm they'd shown for us ever since we moved to town. Yeah, because my mom was horrible and never took me anywhere. I was ABU SED. She never took me anywhere. I was so underprivileged, so deprived. I double dosed on oxy to help with the cramps. Where'd the cramps come from? Wait a minute, I missed something. Okay, so they were really nice to us and they continued ever since we moved to town. It was like any other day, except I had cramps from being on my period. I double dosed on oxy to help with the cramps. My diaper felt particularly sticky against the flammable polyester material of my princess dress. The damn diaper was riding up me, and I felt like I already needed to change. I looked around eagerly, wishing I didn't feel so gross because my Prince Charming was literally going to appear as planned any second. I wish you wouldn't tell us all this shit because now we all feel gross and we're all going to use up a bunch of water after this chapter because we have to take a fucking hot bath with a bunch of soap and bleach and God knows what else. I smiled and wheeled slowly through the lobby. In seconds, my life would change forever. And as promised, Nick appeared. He was a terrible actor. I'm sorry. I didn't expect that. I'm sorry. I didn't expect that. All right. And as promised, Nick appeared. He was a terrible actor as he awkwardly came over and said hello to me. Looking back now, I could see how transparent the whole scene was, and my mom didn't buy any of it. I wanted to sit with Nick, and she demanded I stay with her. She thought he was creepy. Why is there this single adult man at a kid's movie? She had already figured Dan to be a pedophile, and considering both our histories with Claude, I don't think Mama's concern about Nick was far off. Yeah. See what I'm saying? She bashed the fuck out of him. There was something that I thought I'm going to reread this because oh, so she was horrible to Nick. Nick doesn't remember it that way. Nick said that Dee Dee was very nice to him, and actually Dee Dee was the one that took the picture of him and Gypsy together that day. So it's in my opinion, because what Nick says is something happened that night that made Dee Dee not like Nick. So it's in my opinion that nothing happened. Gypsy told Nick, "My mom doesn't like you and we can't be together," because Dee Dee did like Nick. She took a picture. She was excited about Nick. She told people about Nick. But her liking Nick doesn't fit into Gypsy's story. It doesn't fit right. But Dee Dee did like Nick. And she's the one that took the picture of the two of them. Gypsy's a horrible person, and she's not going to get better. This behavior is not going to get better. I believe Ken left her because you would notice this behavior. Ryan would have ultimately noticed this behavior after he lost everything and been cheated on a million times. He would have ultimately noticed this behavior because this behavior doesn't go anywhere. It was in jail, and it's in prison, and it's now on parole. Hi, Amy Denise. Keeks, what's the question? Somebody answer you about what? I'm still looking for the question. Wow, 22 chapters? No, I think I'm on chapter 11. So I guess there's 22 chapters in the book. I don't know. Danny, you all right? My little potato chip? You okay, pretty girl? All right, here we go. I told her I was going to the bathroom. She let me go alone. Oh, did she now? Looking back now, I don't know why she did. Was it a trap? Did she want me to give Did she want to give me enough rope to hang myself? Danny, what's going on? If she didn't let me go, she wouldn't have been able to punish me. Or did she really let her guard down? After Dan, I don't think that was possible. Prepared to be transformed by my first actual encounter, I wheeled into the men's bathroom and Nick fell in line, following me into the wheelchair accessible stall. If my mom came looking for me, I knew she wouldn't go into the men's room. It was exciting. After almost a year of a virtual relationship, to be in the flesh together felt like a dream. We kissed awkwardly, not too slow because we knew we had to be quick. As his hands glided down and underneath my princess dress, I winced when his hand froze. Oh, guys, I can't read this. I can't read this. So, she was wearing a diaper, right? And Nick didn't know that. And his hands went to explore. And his hands went to explore. So he felt that. and I guess that didn't bother him. But she was on her right. She said she had cramps and stuff, so she never bothered telling him, don't touch there, and he did. Anyway, so she said that he couldn't get hard. Could you? I mean, there's a bunch of women here, but seriously, right? I know, I know, guys. I know. This is horrible. This is horrible. And her dad, I mean, like, oh God, her stepmom reading this. Oh God. Anyway, so she said she walked out of there technically still a virgin. Let me tell you something. That's probably the only truth she said, because even in the interrogation, he said that, he never climaxed with her. You know that. And he never did. So, anyway, so I wheeled out of the stall, technically still a virgin. Nick said we were married now because what we just did, according to him, was X. Uh, that's not true. The credits began to roll when Mama found me where I had been seated with Nick, and she looked blankly at me. I thought she wasn't allowed to sit next to Nick. Oh, Nick tried to make small talk, but she just walked out of the theater and then out the front doors of the IMAX building. When did she take the picture? Because we've seen the picture. I better go, I said to Nick, a nervousness rising within me. He escorted me to the front doors and told me he'd call me when he got on the bus back to Wisconsin. Nick's mom had bought him the bus ticket. That's not true. You guys know that, right? Because she even talked about she sent him $400. Remember? $400. That was it. He had only been to um he had only been to Missouri twice. This time and the night of the unaliving. Well, that time he stayed what 2 or 3 nights in the hotel, right? Because Gyp shit forgot about not forgot, but didn't get herself a ticket to leave. So that's bullshit, remember? So I want to know since when they were allowed to sit together. All right, let's continue on. So he took a bus all the way from Wisconsin to go to the movies with her. Nick's mom had bought him the bus ticket since he didn't work. He was on SSI, so he had a check coming, and you bought him the bus ticket for $400. You sent him the money. He told everybody, so you're a liar, Gypsy. He told me he used to have a job being the guy who held up the Little Caesars sign on the major roads, but that didn't work out. He spent a lot of time hanging out in the McDonald's that was within walking distance of his house since they had Wi-Fi there. I didn't know then that Nick had been arrested for disorderly conduct for masturbating to porn at the McDonald's. That's not 100% true. And I don't think he was arrested. And I think it was more a misunderstanding. Seriously, I'm not sticking up for Nick, but I've heard other sides to this. Maybe we'll find out in this giant thing that I got. Um, that was so Gypsy saying that was something that came out in the discovery process after our arrest. To be honest, even if he had told me, it probably wouldn't have stopped me from dating him. Mama was not a fast walker. Of course not. She was obese, dumbass, and she had gout. But on this day, she was way ahead of me. Yeah, because you were fucking around and she was leaving. She was already in the parking lot. I was spinning the wheels of my chair, calling her name. Mama, Mama, wait for me. She just proceeded to get into the van, pretending not to hear me, dismissing me completely. I knew she wouldn't leave me there. It would be too visible, too high profile. I met her at the van, transferred myself into the passenger seat, while without words, she folded up my chair, opened the back van door, and took some of her anger out on the wheelchair, flinging it inside. Yeah, because she was able to do that. "What were you thinking?" she said. I could tell she was seething because she was sighing to catch air, her breathing erratic and heavy. "Are you trying to kill me? You know I'm not well, Gypsy. If I die, it will be you who killed me." "Well, you got that right. You got that right. You can see the future, Dee Dee. You already tried to shoot me once." No, that was 10 times, it wasn't just one. It was 10 times. It was 10 times in the one setting. All I could think of as she spoke so hatefully. Oh god. All I could think of as she spoke hatefully to me. What was she supposed to speak in rainbows and bubbles? I mean, you tried to kill her. What do you think? God. The book's a fucking comedy act. All I could think of as she spoke so hatefully to me was that I wanted to get high. Again, you just took 2. You just took 2. She's so full of shit with this too because she never went through any detox or anything. "I didn't purposely try to kill you with BBs, mama. I was trying to leave." Is that your answer? Because you didn't realize you told everybody you thought it was a real gun. So, any hope I had of being with Nick had been sucked out of me along with my naivete. No plans could save me now. I didn't know what my fate would be with Nick being far away again and Mama more pissed off than ever. I closed my eyes and tried to calm myself with the thought of crushing Mommy's oxy and injecting the pain killing powder right into my feeding tube. Instant relief. When we got back home, she took the handles of my wheelchair, signaling that she would be pushing me to my destination. Her cadence was pointed and determined as she marched me not up the wheelchair ramp to the front door, but around the house and into the backyard. "Mama, what's going on? I'm sorry, Mama. I'm sorry. Good. I'll be good. Why don't you get the fuck out of the wheelchair? Get the fuck out of the wheelchair and push it back. You could have pushed your mom right over. The fuck is this bullshit? Come on, man. That's why I can only read 2 chapters of bullshit. Only read 2 chapters of bullshit a day. "Save it," she said. "You're a liar." Yes, she was. And yes, she is. "You're a liar. And you took me for a fool." Yes, she did. And then she took your life later. "You think you're just going to run off with this boy now?" Yes, she did. And then she called her a WHORE. I don't believe that for a minute. "Fool me once," she said. She walked us past the bald patch in the grass where the cursed mason jar was buried and brought me to the shed. When we were first given the Habitat for Humanity house, the program workers found out that I wished, hang on, eh, that I wished for a playhouse. Yeah, because I mean, you were only 20 years old. So they painted the shed the same pink color as our house and made it look like a miniature version of a playhouse just for Gypsy. Except I never went out there. For one thing, my mom never let me outside. There was never a moment during the day when Mama would ever say, "Let's get outside and get some sun on our face." Never. Second, I am afraid of bugs, and bugs were everywhere in the shed. What's her address? Let's send her some bugs. I'm joking, guys. Do not send Gypsy Rose anything. Do not send her anything. Okay. Um, the shed might have looked like a mini house, but the inside floor was made of dirt where slugs and fire ants and worse spiders lived. I don't know where Danny went. All right. As dusk blanketed the sky, the temperature dipped, and I was officially freaked out. I asked her cautiously, as if walking through a minefield, Mama, what are we doing? You can't be trusted, she said, her mind well made up. Get in. No, stop, Mama. My sobs failed to penetrate. Just like Nick. Bring her back to this world. She was somewhere else now, riding a wave of hatred and jealousy, fear and recklessness. She pushed me into the shed. Get out of the chair, she said. Even alone in the dark out back where nobody would think to look for us, I transferred myself out of the chair as if my legs really didn't work. I placed myself on the ground among the big black garbage bags full of shoplifted garments. Excuse me, tears spilling onto the dirt. My stomach turns over when I play this moment back in my mind. I could have used the chair to bust right past her. That's what I said. That's what I said. She clearly didn't want to leave me alone in the shed with my wheelchair in case I'd use it as a tool to break down the door. But I wonder if I would have done that at all. I look back at that little girl whose mind had been bent by a lifetime of indoctrination, all bullshit, and see she wouldn't have fought back. Or maybe I was just too close to the cursed mason jar, where the spell still had power. Where the spell still held power. Gypsy will never be happy. She will never be free. She took an about face and walked out, slamming the shed door behind her. Mama, don't! Don't just leave me here. Mama, the spiders! The angry clanks of the padlock were her only response. I was hungry, thirsty, freezing, scared, and the most desperate I had ever felt. And her pills were all the way back in the house. And this is such bullshit. You want us to believe that she fucking locked you in this shed. This is such bullshit. Did Nick get on the bus okay? Is he asleep on the back of a comfortable coach bus? His head held up by the window. Was he a window or an aisle? Hang on. Person. There was so much I didn't know about him that now I'd never find out. I tried to focus on Nick to keep my fear of the spiders at bay. If I fall asleep, will they crawl into my ears, my nose? Without my CPAP machine, will they crawl into my mouth and lay eggs? I had to stay awake and keep watch for Mama. Maybe she would miss me alone in her bed and come and get me. I tried to send her telepathic messages. She always said we were connected in a special way. Plus, she had powers. Come get me, come get me, come get me. After ripping open one of the bags to find warm clothes, I finally fell asleep. My telepathic messages worked, but not in the way I expected. I had a dream in which Dad and Christy were cooking in the kitchen of the little blue house. I was my age. What age was that, dipshit? But my body was childlike. I sat on the floor teasing my two cats. Yeah, because you're miserable as cats. You're a miserable person, Gypsy. You don't deserve any living being by you. You can't take care of it. I was teasing my two cats with feather toys, but they turned into my brother and sister, Dylan and Mia. I was so happy, but so mad at them at the same time. Happy because I was no longer alone, but mad because my dad had left me for them. Then suddenly I'm at a police station with these really nice people wrapping blankets around me. Christy and Dad were there talking to a detective. Christy was crying, even though she looked happy. The detective and maybe she was happy crying. The detective and the nice people with blankets met with all of us in a room. They were introducing me to Christy and Dad because in my dream I didn't know them, even though I did. It's hard to explain. Why are we hearing about this dream? Why are we hearing about this dream? So here's the thing. This is a book that's filled with made up shit, and now we're hearing about made up shit. Gypsy, do you know where you are? The detective asked. Where's Mama? I asked, scanning the room of adults who looked at me like I was about to break. They proceeded to tell me that Christy and Dad had been looking for me all my life. Gypsy, we have to let you know that Dee Dee is not your real mother. Christy is. The police station transformed into an open park. Now I was skipping around Disney World. My long curly hair danced around my waist as I held the hands of Christy and Dad, flanked by them. I felt a strong sense of relief that my life was not what it seemed, and finally someone did come get me. When I woke up, I was disoriented. I looked around the shed and could see some sunlight peeking in. My fingers and toes were numb, and I must have slept hard because I had drool on my cheek. I think you do that all the time. She had left me there it's probably going to say night, all night, overnight, alone and scared. Depression drenched me as I reconciled the fact that my dream wasn't real, that the pure joy I felt being reunited with my real family was as fictional as this book that I'm writing. I added that part. Was as fictional as the life I lived with my mom. Mama didn't come to let me out of the shed until about noon. She wasn't an early riser by habit, so why would she make a concession on this day? When she opened the door, her body language exuded the power of a victor over her spoils. I thought that upon seeing her, I'd be more afraid or angry or despondent. But I felt nothing, like all my emotions had been zapped out of me in a sterile shock treatment room. Back to the house, she said, her hands gripping the portable wheelchair. I transferred myself from the ground to the chair, and she wheeled me back to the house. We had an appointment with an ENT we couldn't miss. Okay, so that's that. All right, guys, that was chapter 10 and 11. Tomorrow, you want to do chapters 12 and 13? Okay, chapters 12 and 13 tomorrow, guys. What are you thinking? You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. Don't be sorry, guys. Thank you, guys. Whew, I'm tired. I gotta go sleep. All right, guys. Don't be sorry, guys. I mean, unfortunately, listen, this book is all over, right? So don't buy the book if you want to read the paragraphs that I'm leaving out that are just really disgusting. Yeah, I can send you the book. But I need a shower and therapy. Well, I got therapy tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. I'm gonna take a shower, but I gotta go to sleep. I'm exhausted. I haven't slept yet. Usually I try to. You're very welcome, guys. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Thank you guys so much. I so appreciate it. Guys, 333 of you, now 328 of you, 262 likes. Thank you so much, guys. I so appreciate that. Thank you so much, guys. So I'm gonna go. I believe that the stream goes on for a little while. So you know who you are. If the stream is going on, it will shut itself off, and that's fine. And then if you guys want to continue on, go to the Facebook. Go to Facebook. I need to remember to check out the Facebook page late tonight or tomorrow morning. Um, yeah, this book sucks, but it's okay. Yeah, well, it does. It definitely shows you that she's a liar, liar, pants on fire, right? Carl Lindsay, right? Right? She's definitely a liar. I hear Christy's writing a book too. I heard Fancy got pissed about that. Another book of bullshit. Ah, I am wrapping it up, Jamie. But tomorrow at 2 o'clock, same time, we're going to read chapters 12 and 13. Okay, guys? I'm sorry, I'm going to keep yawning. I don't want to do that. All right, guys. So I'm hoping I'm gonna have the video that I was working on earlier or today. Um I'm gonna do that Copper Crown as soon as I'm done, and then I'm gonna go to sleep. Um so yeah. I'm so sorry. Uh so I'm hoping to have this video out in the morning, and then I'll see you tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will pet my puppies for everybody. Mom, if you are still listening, I love you, and I'll speak to you in the morning. All right, guys. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you. I so appreciate you. All right. See you tomorrow. Poor Danny and Milo. Thanks, guys.